The Judicial Conduct Tribunal, tasked with probing the landmark sexual harassment complaint against Eastern Cape Judge President Selby Mbenenge, has recommended a lighter sanction of misconduct against the top judge. Mbenenge was accused of alleged sexual harassment in the form of in-person interactions and electronic communication between June 2021 and November 2022 by the complainant, the judge's secretary, Andiswa Mengo, a claim he vehemently denied. And for more on this, we are now joined by Research and Advocacy Officer Dimakatso Nchodu, and she joins us now via our video link. Ms. Nchodu, thank you so much for your time this evening, ma'am. Let's start off here. What is your reaction to that sanction from the tribunal?
So my reaction was a bit of confusion. And then when I read the report, I at least, you know, the report will be reviewed by the JSC, and they have the choice as to whether or not to accept it. So I guess I'll just wait and see what's happening.
And as a research and advocacy officer, when you read that report, what did you make of it?
So the report was clear as to the findings. However, I think that, you know, they should have probably considered power imbalances in workplaces and in society. I really struggled with the reasoning as to why they did not, but yeah.
And staying with the workplace, and when you look at this finality and this report, what does it say about sexual harassment in the workspace, particularly by seniors?
So, as I said, I think that it's really important to consider power dynamics and also how they affect, you know, in an instance where there's an abuse of power, how they affect victims who will come forward and complain. I think that the ruling itself on the conduct of the judge president and, you know, talking about how where they found that he acted inappropriately during work hours, which affected the functioning of a court, I think was really explained properly.
And when you look at, you know, the response from Mengo's legal team and saying that she still has legal recourse to take, do you think that she should be able to take this up a bit more further in terms of seeking legal recourse, particularly because of what this case highlights about sexual harassment in the workspace?
So, yeah, so because once the tribunal has made its report, the report will then go to what is called the small JSC, and the Women's Legal Center, who's representing the victim or the complainant, is able to make further submissions upon the consideration by the JSC. And then, as I said, the JSC has the choice whether or not to follow the recommendation of the tribunal.
And what are your expectations now that this will sit with the JSC?
So we're not entirely sure how the JSC will sway, but I know that with the conduct of misconduct, the JSC has the option of lesser sanctions than they would with gross misconduct. So, I mean, I assume that the JSC will then decide whether or not to grant him lesser sanctions, which are usually compensation where appropriate, and then an apology to the victim, counseling, a reprimand, or yeah.
All right, Ms. Nchodu, thank you so much for your time. That's Dimakatso Nchodu. She is a research and advocacy officer there, responding and reacting to the news coming in today pertaining to Judge President Selby Mbenenge from the Eastern Cape, and that misconduct sanction that we saw, and this was pertaining to that case which was brought forward by his secretary, that is Andiswa Mengo.